UFC 308 going down this weekend. After a brief pause there for live viewers, we get back up and running here. Very interesting main event. And honestly, very interesting main and co-main. We do these on Mondays of every UFC pay-per-view where we look at the big fights coming up on it and the main and co-main. And this is one of the better combinations you will have. It is Ilia Topuria defending the featherweight championship as he goes up against Max Holloway. And in the co-main event, you have Robert Whitaker and Khamzat Chimaev looking to settle who will be the next probable challenger at 185 pounds. Let's start with the 145 pounders. Topuria has a chance to go back-to-back against legends. First, he has a win over Alex Volkanovski, and now he is facing Max Holloway. This kid feels like one of the next big things, and it has felt like that for a little bit. 27 years old, he feels like a superstar. Everyone clamors for the UFC to do stadium shows. They could do a soccer stadium with him in Spain tomorrow, and it would be perfect. I think this guy has the feel, the style, and all of it of one of the biggest stars in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. We have him pretty high up in the pound-for-pound rankings right now, and honestly, if he beats Holloway, he has a very good case to move into that top three. It's going to be tough to get past Pereira and to get past Makhachev up at number one, but wins over Volk and Holloway get you into the top three at least and get you onto the podium. So he has an opportunity here this weekend to, at 27, work his way into pound for pound number one, at least consideration with a victory. For Max Holloway, it's looking to find that magic again. He has the epic knockout over Justin Gaethje, but I still think people view him a little bit differently than he deserves. He is only 32 years old. And I think having the losses against Volkanovski and having, well, Volk was the champ, no clear path to a championship opportunity, you then fall into, oh, it's the Rich Franklin, it's the Kenny Florian, it's all these guys where, yeah, you know what? Very good fighter. No one questioning how good Max Holloway was. But at this point, it's just not there for you. You can't be the champion, so you're just going to kind of take some money weight fights, and that's going to be that, and that's going to be the end of it. Not so much. This guy's 32 years old. His last 4 losses, 3 of them have come to Alex Volkanovski, who at the time was the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and the other one comes to Dustin Poirier, who kind of does that to everyone when Holloway was moving up to 155 for one of the first times in his career. And so I just think that people really underestimate Max Holloway going into this. Like I said, coming off of a legendary knockout over Gaethje, but let's not just let that fight be brought down to one epic moment. Epic moment, all-time great moment, for sure. But it was a dominant performance the whole night. Vintage Max Holloway. That Max Holloway against almost anybody doesn't lose. I just don't know if Topuria is in that category. I just feel like he might be a level above. This fight is going to be so interesting to go through and break down as the week goes on. In the co-main event, it is a middleweight bout between Robert Whitaker and Khamzat Chimaev. For Chimaev, it is time to get going. He, for a long time, has been the best fighter to not have a championship in the UFC. And it doesn't, quite frankly, feel like he is taking it seriously. And I think the momentum completely stalled at UFC 279 when he misses weight for that, goes out and just ragdolls Kevin Holland. But since then, he's only fought once. It was basically a year ago against Kamaru Usman. And that one, it's at 185 and you beat a 170-pounder. So it feels like that momentum is cooled. And so I think the big thing to watch this weekend is, can Khamzat get that buzz back? Can he get that? Can you remind everyone that he is one of the best fighters in the world? Because I don't think there is a question when you just look at talent that he might be the most talented fighter in the Ultimate Fighting Championship today. He does not have the championship resume to prove it yet, but he does have an opportunity to really establish that here this weekend when he goes up against Robert Whitaker and try to get that buzz back and get back on top. For Whitaker, it is a chance to remind everyone how good he is. Again, I feel like a lot of people almost underrate him because he hasn't been in the title picture for a long time. The loss against DDP was a real difficult one, and it has kind of now set him back. But we do forget, before Izzy came in and kind of dominated, Robert Whitaker was the guy at 185 pounds. A win here as improbable as it may seem, but a win here gets him back into that conversation again, gets him into a title shot opportunity against Dricus du Plessis, and creates a real buzz around him again. So it is kind of like Max Holloway, where you have a chance against someone who most of the MMA community feels has passed you by. This is a chance to go out and grab that reputation back and just be like, no, you know what? I'm still that guy. I'm still going to be the one who can go out and get that job done. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Robert Whitaker can do this weekend.